Do your RPG characters ever feel flat, lifeless, or uninspired? Do you wish that you could roleplay in the moment with believability and confidence? Want to take your role-playing to the next level? Then look no further than today's episode. Hello and welcome to RPG PhD. I'm Dr. Ben, and today we will discuss 5 tips for how to roleplay your character with more depth. Before we get started, let me say that every game table is different, as you have various DMs, players, personalities, experience levels, and of course, game types. There is no bad, wrong, fun, and every group should look for ways to enjoy their favorite role-playing games. All I offer is a single perspective about my own experiences. My purpose is to share ideas and tips, and if you're unsatisfied or unfulfilled in your own gaming experiences and want to try something different or want to go deeper with your own role-playing. Tip number 1, staying in character. Staying in character means maintaining your character's persona in role-playing moments, which maintains the illusion that the character you are playing and the situations you are experiencing are real. This helps to reinforce both a sense of verisimilitude and a willing suspension of disbelief. Verisimilitude just means the appearance of being true and real, and suspension of disbelief is what we all enter into when we know that what we are experiencing in a game is a fictional reality, but we are pretending that we don't know that. This allows us to engage our imaginations more profoundly and allows us, or me at least, to better enjoy the narrative. When an actor takes the stage, they might need to remain in character for long periods of time, but usually in tabletop RPGs, the moments of in-character roleplay are punctuated with moments of out-of-character interactions. As a DM, if you have players who find it difficult to stay engaged, then you could designate certain periods of time as roleplay time, where the expectation is that everyone is in character, living in the moment, staying engaged, and that no matter what occurs, the players don't break character. Number 2, imagination or imaginative play. Don't be afraid to utilize your imagination during role-playing situations. Try to visualize your character's surroundings and situation. Try to see the scenario with your mind's eye and then respond in character. Try to envision what that attacking owlbear looks like, the size and shape of it, the look in its eyes, its imposing presence, its smell, the danger it poses, etc. This is why it's important for DMs to provide sensory information when describing a scene. It helps to place the players in the moment and in the circumstances. If players have a sense of how a particular person, place, or thing feels, sounds, smells, and appears, then it's easier for them to engage their imaginations. Sounds and images are your friend here, DMs, as some players find pictures worth more than any number of words you might utter. One important thing to note, while it is up to the DM to describe the scenario, the players should also go beyond that to create their own imaginative experiences. Don't just solely rely on the DM to do all of the imagining for you. You will find your game to be a richer, more enhanced experience if you allow your own imagination to flourish. Number 3, engagement. Staying engaged in the narrative without too many distractions. Usually in-person RPGs are about fun, friends, and food. Engagement doesn't mean that you must always remain in character or that you can't discuss whatever topic happens to arise, as this is a game after all and not a job, usually. But it does mean that at the appropriate moments you are focused on the game and the situation at hand. It means that you haven't decided to doom scroll on your phone when your combat turn is over, disengaging from the game. Having players who are disengaged can be annoying for other players and demoralizing for your DM. When a player or DM is trying to visualize a scene or stay engaged, it's really easy for that to be disrupted. I see RPGs as a cooperative storytelling experience. This experience can be enhanced by engagement or detracted from by disengagement. Actors spend a great deal of time learning how to focus and not be distracted by outside forces when trying to create a performance. But as an RPG player, you don't need to go nearly that far. All it takes is a respect for the cooperative part of the experience. In other words, everyone working together to help create an enjoyable, fun experience. Number 4, intensity. Let's talk about intensity of character in roleplay interaction. Intensity is really all about going there and throwing yourself into your character, their interactions, and trying to live believably within the imaginary circumstances of the game. It's the difference between half-hearted and fully invested. This is really about committing to your character and taking the world and characters seriously, or allowing the game to have weight during the moments of role-playing. By serious in weight, I don't mean that your character has to be the opposite of humorous, but that the character acts appropriately given who they are in the gaming world. This will of course depend on the tone of your game, but the important part is that the character feels like they belong in that world. In some ways, intensity combines staying in character, utilizing your imagination, and being fully engaged in the story and narrative or combat scenes. Intensity can be really hard for new players because there is a tendency to self-consciousness that makes us feel embarrassed or awkward about role-playing in front of other people. I find that this just takes time and practice to overcome, for players to relax and really enjoy themselves. So a forgiving and inviting environment, as well as encouragement from other players, goes a long way to boost confidence in players who feel a bit awkward about that aspect of the game. I also realize that this type of roleplay experience isn't for everyone. Some people like to narrate their characters' actions, like they're manipulating a video game avatar. Others enjoy fully immersing themselves in their characters with props, costumes, and full-out acted characterizations. DMs and players should of course find the style that they enjoy the most, or they're the most comfortable playing. Number 5. Use your backstory and attributes. One way to help develop your character and give you insight into how best to play that character is to understand their given circumstances, or in this case, created circumstances. Given circumstances are the who, what, why, how, etc. of your character. How does a character with a 6 intelligence play versus a character with 18 intelligence? How does your backstory play into how your character fits into the world, or how your character feels about their place in it? What motivates your character? What do they want? Their objective? What's in their way? Obstacle? And how do they go about getting what they want? Tactics. Do they have any defining personal characteristics, important relationships, group affiliations, or enemies? You don't need to answer all of these questions, and some of this develops over the course of a campaign, but having some thoughts about these aspects of character can help to ground the character in the world they inhabit and make the choices both easier and more interesting for the character to roleplay. So go and experiment with these techniques and let me know how it turns out. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about your role-playing experiences, so please post your comments or questions below, and don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.